Now at 5, a call for change after multiple deadly shootings involving IMPD. The plea from community members for action. And a second person has been arrested in connection to the mass shooting in Muncie last month. We'll tell you why a 29-year-old man is facing felony charges. It is 5 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. I've got my hands in my pockets because I'm cold. It is cold. I'm Justin Kollar. We're joined by Krista McEnany this morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. You could go for gloves or you could go for the pockets.
Gloves
you
is
know what? I feel like
that
is well, that too. And that's just a whole nother sign. Like once you feel like you can give into gloves, we're just past fall and right into winter, right?
I'm like a half cup through my coffee already because I'm so cold.
Oh, okay, so
which is a dangerous game because you don't want to get too highly caffeinated too quickly. We're already talking about pizza in here, and it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's a typical Tuesday here for us. This all sounds about right. And
everything is okay.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Neighbors are raising questions about another deadly shooting involving IMPD officers. Sunday night, IMPD shot and killed a man armed with a machete who was having a mental health crisis. Police responded to the home here on Woodland Drive in the northwest side. Video shows 40-year-old Kendall Gilbert waving a machete and shouting threats at police. After a few hours and after police had used multiple non-lethal rounds, the suspect was shot and killed by police. Now, officers say Gilbert posed a threat to those officers. Many in the community are questioning if that incident had to turn deadly. This is just one of the topics residents brought up during a community town hall last night. Included in the discussion was the August 3rd shooting death of 49-year-old Gary Harrell. Body camera video shows an officer shooting Harrell in the back after IMPD says he ran away with a gun during a traffic stop. Now, the shooting led to a call to action among some of the community. They're asking for IMPD to make changes and to be more transparent. The main focus of the community's questions came down to de-escalation tactics in dealing with mental health. Some suggested having more mental health officials responding when it's that type of call. For their part, IMPD laid out its processes and policies in dealing with these deadly run-ins and admitted that more improvements could be made. Another powerful voice at that town hall meeting were the parents of Herman Whitfield III. Whitfield died in police custody back in April of 2022 after suffering a mental health crisis of his own. He died from a heart attack after being hit by a stun gun. 2 officers who responded that day have been charged by the Marion County prosecutor with reckless homicide and involuntary manslaughter. Whitfield's mother questioned officials, asking why Harrell was shot when he only had a gun. The Whitfield family is suing the city, police, and others involved in Herman's death. You can read more about that suit and the full case against the officers on our website, CBS4Indy.com. A woman has died after a shooting last night on the Near East Side. This happened at 9 o'clock. Police were called to East New York and North Rural Street for reports of a person shot nearby. When they arrived, they found an adult female on the sidewalk. She was quickly taken to the hospital, but later died there. Police believe a disturbance occurred at this location, resulting in that gunfire. Now, detectives are asking anyone in the area to look at their cameras. If you have information regarding this investigation, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number, as always, 317-262-TIPS. A woman is recovering after she was shot in the hand while trying to stop a car break-in. This happened before midnight when police were called to the Leatherbury Lane apartments for reports of a shooting there. Police say the woman heard noises outside her apartment, and when she went outside to look, she realized her car was being broken into. The suspects then fired at her, hitting her in the hand. No information was released so far about those suspects. The second person has been arrested in connection to the mass shooting in Muncie last month. Our own Cameron Riddle joins us in the studio this morning with details on what we're learning so far about the person police arrested after that July 30th shooting. Cameron?
Hey, good morning.
Now, switching gears, we really can't say enough about how refreshing it feels outside there, Krista. You step outside and it's like an entirely different season at the drop of a hat here.
It really is.
Developing now, the ACLU of Indiana has filed a lawsuit against the Indiana Department of Corrections. It concerns a new state law regarding gender-affirming surgery to transgender people who are incarcerated. The law says the Department of Correction cannot use state resources to provide those surgeries. It addresses any surgery meant to, quote, affirm someone's perception of their gender, if it does not align with the sex they were assigned at birth. The ACLU argues the procedures can be medically necessary and should be protected under the 8th Amendment to the Constitution. CBS4 is reaching out to the Department of Corrections for a response to the lawsuit. We'll let you know as soon as we hear back. The Marion County Sheriff's Office has confirmed it fired 2 deputies last week. Law enforcement sources tell CBS4 those firings are in relation to the strangulation of Deputy John Durham by Orlando Mitchell in July. Law enforcement sources say during a review of the day, one deputy said they heard the fight but didn't investigate. Court records show Deputy Durham was alone when he was escorting Mitchell, who you see on your screen now, to Eskenazi Hospital. The Sheriff's Office policy states transports to the hospital should always utilize 2 jail deputies. We'll keep you updated as soon as we learn more in this case. Well, in your Colts Blue Zone coverage today, the start of the Colts' 40th season in Indy is getting closer, and the team is returning to their headquarters on 56th Street after coming home from their preseason win in Philly. Roster cuts will happen across the NFL in the coming days as it's crunch time for players and coaches alike. Cornerback Dallas Flowers is all too familiar with this. After fighting to stick around last year, he finds himself in a much safer spot. Luckily, coaches say the Colts are going young in the secondary this season. Now, NFL rosters sit at 90 players during the preseason games, and they have to be down to 53 in the next 5 days.